Hey, I'm late but here, and I'm not sure what it's going to be like today, what my reception's going to be like. For some reason, Facebook wouldn't run at all, and now it's running, and I don't know what power it's at. So bear with me if this is a little bit blurry or whatever. So let's get about our, 71st day of our Corona confinement / retreat. And you can tell I'm got my work stuff on, I've got my keys, I'm ready to run out and do what I have to do at any time. And boy, that really does put a dent in having a schedule. Hence, I was starting later today than usual. Anyway, you know, the phone rings, things get a little crazy. Sometimes the phone rings and it's great because that means we got reservations coming in. And sometimes the phone rings and it ain't so great because we're still in the Corona confinement thing, and some people are still wisely, you know, hesitant to come out. So, what's today's National Day? Do you know? Well, in the National Day calendar, it's Grape Popsicle Day. Can't do that. Don't have a grape popsicle, and I'm not going out to get one. I don't have any grape juice. I have wine, but I don't think that'll make a popsicle. C'est la vie. It's also Cellophane Tape Day. Now, I can't make anything with it, but I sure am glad for the many things that work for me. And here's one I can pay attention to, Senior Health and Fitness Day. So, I'm a senior, and I did my jazzercise this morning, and I think this afternoon maybe I'll take a nice walk outside because it is gorgeous out. Well, speaking of weather, you know, sometimes we wish we could predict the weather. Can we? The weathermen do, with a little bit of error. Why? Because there is always that opportunity for a wind to shift, for something to change. Even the best psychic can't predict with perfection. We say that the universe is in a constant state of flux, and we measure things according to the energy that is going on right now. So today our focus is how to predict the future, but if you were expecting some kind of woo-woo, you know, turn you into your ESP, aluminum hat stuff, no, you can let go of that because it's really much easier and more reliable about that, than that. Usually, though, we don't want to know the truth very often. We'd rather prefer something that wasn't true but we wanted to hear than something that we didn't want to hear but was probably true. So I'm going to invite you today to look at the ways that you can predict the future. Some people think that predicting the future is like a miracle. Well, it isn't a miracle, it is metaphysics. See, a miracle to a lot of people is getting something like, oh my gosh, God fixed that and everything is going to be fine now. Maybe it could be grace. It could be what Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, called a higher expression of the law. That it may look like a miracle, but it's deeper than that. Sometimes we want God to do miracles for us, but we don't want to do any miracles, any work that will bring forth those miracles. That's a problem, you know. We want God to do it for us when we are here to learn to do it for ourselves. So how do we predict the future? We do it through a few things, and I hope you listen real good today because you can get some invaluable information to help you in your life and to help create a world that functions for everybody, a world that works for everyone. So first of all, we have metaphysical principles. Metaphysical principles are spiritual laws. They're not unlike scientific laws, only they are beyond the manifest. It's beyond what you see with your eye. Even scientific laws can be demonstrated, but you can't actually see the law, you see the action. For example, if you see, and these are things that early, like magicians would fascinate people with, like making these come from nothing. For example, if you mix vinegar and baking soda, you will have a reaction. Most kids made one of those volcanoes when they were little. Well, it looks magical, doesn't it? But it comes down to principles that are behind the properties of the ingredients that we're using. Same thing with predicting the future, but we don't do it on a physical level, we do it on an energetic, spiritual level. And we do it with awareness of energy and spiritual law. The law of mind action, where the mind goes, energy flows, and manifestation follows. Now, the manifestation follows is a really important point because that is very often where we come in. That is our part of it. We also have, of course, the law of cause and effect, the law of giving and receiving, the law of sowing and reaping. They all come down to a very common core law, the law of cause and effect. So, we think about, I've got one. Let's talk about prayer. Charles Fillmore said miracles are a higher expression of the law. I have what I call a spiritual bank account. It's a prayer bank, and it exists in my higher consciousness. I have always, I've always prayed. I was raised Catholic, and I was taught to pray, to use, we called them aspirations. They were like affirmations of God's love and presence and power in our life and stuff. And it's just what I did. I mean, they told me to do it, and I do it, and I believed it, and I believe that every prayer is answered. Well, sometimes we don't have a prayer request, right? So I pray anyway. I pray Thanksgiving. You know how people wash their hands. You got to wash your hands 20 seconds. I recite the Lord's Prayer when I do that. I'm making deposits in my prayer bank. Now, there's other ways we make deposits in our metaphysical bank. Another one is good works. Every time we do something wonderful for someone and don't even think about a return, well, I did this for you, you got to do that. We trust God's law that everything we send forth comes back blessed and multiplied. So we can predict the future and know that. For example, I believe I'm always going to be taken care of for a number of reasons. The first one is I respect and have gratitude for everything I do have. Another part of it is I share. I do my best to share fully and freely without expectation of return. Because nobody can tell you where your good is going to come from. And if you look at someone and say, hey, I gave you this, you got to pay me back. That's not where the law works. The law works as we send forth good. It can come back in any number of ways. You don't know what they are. For the people that said And I'll tell you something, I'm not going to lie and say it never crossed my mind. For all the people that ever said to a broken relationship, I gave you the best years of my life. Ooh, did you ever have that feeling? Yes, but if we think about it more like, I sent out good in this relationship, regardless of what came back. Because I know every bit of love and good and kindness and tolerance and everything I gave out is going to come back and bless me and take care of me. I believe that I will be taken care of because I have faith, that I have lived a life that is in harmony, in alignment, in the flow of spiritual principle. It's the way I work. So I invite you to think about what's in your spiritual bank account. What are your thoughts, your words, your actions, your prayers, your beliefs? You may not be able to see my spiritual bank account, but I can assure you it's there, and I can assure you there have been times when I have drawn on it and gotten through some pretty tough things. You know, the next part in being able to predict the future is being able to lift up your mind out of our realm of human consciousness. You know, we've got our human consciousness, human thoughts, and human emotions, and we've got our higher consciousness, intuitive sensing. Intuitive is of mind, sensing is of vibrational movement, vibrational energy. We've got mind, we've got energy. We want it to be up here, because down in the human realm, where there's nothing wrong or inherently evil about it, although our lower consciousness can be the cause of a lot of negative thoughts, feelings, actions, and emotions, and karma. You don't want to stay down here where you're thinking in doubt and fear. You have to lift your thoughts up. Jesus said over and over again, lift up your eyes. Now, if we're only looking down at what our problems are, an immediate thing, and on a human level, we haven't lifted up our eyes. Eric Butterworth, a Unity minister, said, don't try to set things right. Try to see things right. That is a way of predicting the future. Trying to see things right. How many times have I said in these past 71 days that we have to look for the lessons? Look for the lessons that we are getting from the virus, because here's the future. We either learn the lesson and we can predict it's going to be wonderful and great. We're going to have a healthier planet. We're going to have healthier lives. We're going to have healthier relationships. Or we can look at it from the human aspect. This is never going to end. I've heard it. I've heard it on the news. I've heard it come from people I love. I've heard it come from people who are just always negative. I've looked at the scenes of I forgot what lake it is in Missouri, where all the people were crammed in, shoulder to shoulder, no masks. I can predict it's going to take longer to get rid of this than it needs to be. And I can predict that if we learn to follow the protocols, it will go away faster. Yes, and I can predict that one day we may get herd immunity, but we have to ask ourselves very seriously, at what cost? At what cost? We're going to come out of it one way or the other, and the amount of suffering that's involved depends on us. So I can predict we're going to be happier if we live in accordance to spiritual principles, if we look for, see things right, look for the lessons that we're supposed to be learning, not just about the virus, about everything, about your finances, about your attitude, about what you eat, about everything. You know, we all say we want miracles to happen. We would love to have God just have this big wind come from the universe and wash away blow away all the pollution and all the in our world. That's not a possibility. Well, it's a possibility. I would never limit God. But the real miracle is what we have been shown, that when we stop abusing, abuse stops happening. Ball's in our court. God showed us it can be done, and we can predict effectively if we will move forward with healthier lives, relationships, finances, and ecology, whether we will or whether we won't. We have to keep trying to live in the upper quadrants and not get bogged down by faulty thinking. I'd like to suggest to you a meditative practice to help you get out of this. Let's say, for example, that you just had a really negative experience. It was just, you know, you either watched something on the news that distressed you, or someone said something that got you sad or mad or frustrated or whatever. Keep seeing it is down here in the lower part that exists. It's the world of matter. It's the world of manifestation, of what we press into expression, okay? In the spiritual realm, there is no matter. Matter doesn't matter. Can you imagine that? So, here's the exercise I want you to invite you not just to do now, but to adopt as a daily practice. So, and you can do it anytime, anywhere. Just if you're driving, don't close your eyes, okay? I invite you to see yourself like in an elevator. And you step in, and you can feel the elevator going up. And the elevator goes up so high, it goes into the clouds. And then it comes out on the other side of the clouds. And on the other side of the clouds, there is peace. There is serenity. There is no matter. And nothing matters. In this one place where we feel the presence and power of all that is good, we can relax. I invite you to let these words be yours. Dear Lord, reveal that which needs to be revealed. Heal that which needs to be healed. I am open and receptive to your living spirit of truth. And open your mind to receive divine ideas. Spend some time here allowing. Don't look for an immediate answer. Don't count on getting that divine idea. In this place of peace and quiet, open your mind and let God's divine ideas flow to you. Even an hour from now, this is a divine download you're receiving. It may come to you in the middle of the night, that aha moment. And now we take the elevator back down. We let the elevator come back down, and we can feel the density of this manifest realm and its energy, but we surround ourselves with the light of peace that we felt in our upper consciousness. And breathe and release. Okay. I hope you were able to do that experiment with me and find that it will help. You know, a wise man once said, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. So we can predict the future if we have change. It will be good. We can predict the future if there is no change in our thoughts, feelings, actions, or attitudes. There is no change. History repeats itself if we don't learn from it. So then comes the big, scary question. I'm working on this so hard. I'm working on my spiritual development. I'm working on doing the right thing. I'm trusting God. I'm praying. I'm open and receptive. But we're still in a very bad place. There's still war. There is still, the virus. But you know what? Let that go. You are now getting bogged down in it. Stay positive. Surround yourself with the love and the light of hope, because that really is real. It really is. There's a wonderful scripture. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my mind be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. And when we look at that metaphysically, what it's saying is, may my thoughts be good. May my actions be positive. May my attitude be adjusted. It is in the attitude adjustment that you can predict without failure. If you live the principles, you'll be sowing good seed and you'll get amazing rewards. Trust me. Try it. You'll like it. I dare you. And that I hope you will take with you today and create a world that works for all. I want you to know I behold the divinity in you. Have a blessed day and go rock your world. Bye-bye.